Hi, Jeff Goheen, Springboard Your Life. Jeff Goheen's Self-Health Guide. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about massage and the benefits of massage and why and how it works. First, you have to understand muscles, bones, and tendons. Bones record memory, but they don't really have a memory. They record events, and because of the piezoelectric effect that they have, the cell structure of the bone. Muscles have a muscle memory. They kind of remember things, and it can hold memories too. Sometimes, if you release a muscle, it might trigger a flashback and things like that. So muscles hold memory. They have a memory. Bones record the memory, and the muscle attaches to a bone with a tendon. So you have your muscle that turns into a tendon that attaches to a bone. And so the benefit of massage kind of works with that being said. When you have trauma to the body, whether it's an obvious trauma or trauma over time, an obvious trauma would be something like a whiplash from a car wreck. The muscle has a couple of ways to keep the body from further injury. Let's say you're in a car wreck and you get a whiplash and your head moves forward. The muscles in your neck will tighten up to keep your head from flying off. So the natural response to keep from further injury is it tightens up. So that's a good thing about muscles, is if there's an injury, they tighten up to keep from further injury, to keep from muscle tears, larger muscle tears from the trauma that's being inflicted. There's other traumas that aren't so obvious, like staying in a body position over time for long periods of time, like sitting at a computer, driving in a car for long periods of time, sitting in positions, standing a certain way, carrying a purse on your shoulder, having a wallet in your back pocket, pushing up. And over time, to keep from the further injury, the muscle tightens up. The bad thing about that is muscles don't know when the injury is healed. Okay, so let's say you get a whiplash and your muscles tighten up in your neck. They'll stay like that. And sometimes they stay like that forever. You can see this if you're at the grocery store and you see people and they're walking and they're crooked and they walk with the crooked and they've been walking like that for many years. Is because those muscles have tightened up and they stayed like that. They stay in a chronic state of contraction, and they will stay like that forever unless you re-educate the muscle in the memory to do something different. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about. The benefits of massage, the benefits of stretching can re-educate that muscle to do what its function is normally, instead of staying tight in that chronic state of contraction. So you have to understand the tendon. See, where the muscle attaches to the tendon, there's a Z factor. It's a theory inside of the tendon that basically says if you stimulate the tendon, that it'll send a signal to the brain, and the brain will release endorphins into the bloodstream, and those endorphins will cause the muscle to relax. So that's where the benefits of massage come in. When you massage a muscle, it feels good, but when you get towards the tendon or the muscle attachment to the bone, it causes the Golgi tendon organ response. And that is the Z factor. It's kind of the way that the tendon is structured. It's a filament, and when you apply pressure to that tendon, it sends a signal to the brain. The brain releases endorphins into the bloodstream and causes the muscles to relax. So that's where different types of massage, myofascial release, neuromuscular therapy, deep tissue massage, trigger point therapy, those are all kind of forms of the same thing. When you're doing a myofascial release, which is a sustained pressure on the muscle, it causes tension on that tendon, and the tendon sends a signal to the brain that says release endorphins. Stretching does the same thing. It feels good to stretch in the morning. It's important because it causes the muscles to become loose. But when you stretch a muscle, it applies pressure on the muscle attachments where the tendon is, and that applied pressure stimulates that Golgi tendon organ response, which sends a signal to the brain. Brain releases endorphins. So that's why stretching is important, is because it stretches the tendon out, causing that reaction. Same thing with massage. When you're massaging or getting massage, you're applying pressure, whether it's a broad stroke, whether it's a local cross fiber, any of these smaller strokes. It causes that pressure on the tendon. It feels good, sending that signal to the brain. Brain releases endorphins, the muscles relax. Muscles have memory, bones don't. They just record the memory. And so that's the importance of massage. You know, people will go around all day long, years on end, with their muscles in a chronic state of contracture. And muscles move bone. They may go to the chiropractor, and the chiropractor can adjust them, or they can pop their neck, or they can pop their back, or their hips, or whatever they're popping. And then the next day they have to pop it again because the muscles stay in that chronic state of contracture, pulling the bone. There's people out there that bone will restructure, or muscles will restructure the bone. Muscles will stay in that chronic state of contracture. They'll pull bone to a certain side, and there's people that'll get surgeries and remove bones even because of that chronic state of contracture for the muscle. So you need to focus on the muscle before you focus on the bone, because you need to loosen up the muscles for the bones to go where they need to be. And that's where massage can come in. Massaging, and it causes that pressure on the tendon. Stretching does the same thing, causes pressure on the tendon, which causes the tendon to relax, the muscles relax, the bones go back to where they should be. So that's kind of where the benefit of massage comes in, is because that muscle will stay in that chronic state of contracture forever until it gets that signal to the brain that says go ahead and relax. See, the muscles don't know when the body's healed. They just know that, oh, there's an injury or there's trauma to the body. I need to tighten up to keep from further injury, to keep from further muscle tears. But they stay tight in a chronic state of contracture until they get that signal to relax. And that's where neuromuscular therapy or neuromuscular re-education comes in. You have to re-educate the muscle to start working properly again, and you do that by the tendon, and that's where the muscle attaches to the bone, is where you have the tendon. You have to apply pressure on that tendon, causes sensations to the brain releases endorphins, the muscles relax. So benefits of massage yourself every day. If you don't, you'll stay tight, and then you don't get blood flowing properly, you don't get lymphatic fluid flowing properly, you don't get cytoplasm, which is the liquid inside of a nerve tube, to move properly, and that's where you get the double crush phenomenon, or pain. You know, if muscles are tight, they either do compression or entrapment. They entrap a nerve by tightening around a nerve, or they compress a nerve into a bone. So you have entrapment of a nerve or compression of a nerve due to a tight muscle, and so it stops the flow. So you can get numbness, tingling, burning sensations, loss of sensations in your arms, limbs, fingers, toes, legs, neck, head, because the fluid is not moving fluid properly through the body. So you need the muscles to be relaxed. You need the fascia, which is the connective tissue around muscles, to be relaxed, which in turn is going to help the nerve relax. So you need to stretch the nerves out. You need to work the fascia around the nerve as well. So that's where massage comes in, is it can get all of those things relaxed, so you have fluidity of the body, the cranial sacral rhythm, which is the cerebral spinal fluid around the brain all the way down the spine into the sacrum and back. That has its own rhythm as well, and that gets disrupted and causes different problems in the body depending on where the disruption is along the brain, the spinal cord, all the way down into the sacrum. So you need to keep those fluid. Massage therapy can help. You can massage yourself, you can have somebody else massage you, continue stretching, keeping those fluids in the body moving so you can live longer, because if not, they stagnate. And if you have stagnant lymphatic fluid, stagnant blood flow, stagnant cerebral spinal flow, stagnant cytoplasm flow, which is in the nerve tube, then diseases can start growing, and that's where diseases come in. It's like a stagnant river or a pond. If it's stagnated and it's not moving, then the pH balance gets off and diseases start to thrive in that area. So that's similar to the body. If you have stagnant tissues, pH balance gets off, diseases start to thrive. So you have to stay loose, you have to stay fluid. And massage therapy can help keep those body systems fluid. So that's the benefit of massage, one of many, and we'll talk more about that as we go. So thanks for joining in. Jeff Goheen, Self Health Guide. Springboard your life. We'll be tuning in again soon. Thanks.